Be our guest. Be our guest. Put our service to the test. Tie your napkin around your neck, Cherie, and we'll provide the rest.
Well, Aunt Venice. Well, it's great to have you. Wait, is it possible that you're even more beautiful than the last time I saw you?
That's amazing. Welcome to Here We Go podcast. We have a full house tonight. Corb is crushing the intros today. That's back-to-back, sir. Well done. We have the world famous DMC3. In case you didn't know that, Smitty, that is the name.
World famous.
Dave, we have just boring Dave down in the right corner there. And then we have special guest, Zachary Smith. Smitty, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Zach is back.
Always appreciate when I get together with this crew. Always a fun time on here, talking ball, talking some nonsense, and I enjoy all of it. So I'm back.
And Zach, you are even more beautiful than the last time I saw you.
I was just saying, oh wow, I don't know whose idea that was, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, that's amazing.
You just secured yourself at least one more conversation with me at some point.
At least one more. I like it.
There you go. Perfect.
We'll have one more really favorable comment to get you on for another after that, too. Just be prepared. All right. So Zachary Smith takes a little bit of time out of his 401 podcasts a week to join us. Yep. So first thing I want to start out with is what I started doing with some of the guests that we're having on here. I want to know what your thoughts are on the free agency so far, some of the moves they've made. Do you have a favorite?
Oh, do I have a favorite? If you really boxed me into a corner and I had to pick one, probably Jamel Dean, maybe Rico Dowdle. See, like the thing is, like with Pittman, I like the trade, and they didn't add any money on it, like guaranteed wise on the extension. It's just the $24 million that he would have made anyway. So like, you make that deal, I feel like, every time for just the pick swap. So like, not bad business there. But Rico Dowdle is a perfect runner for this offense. I mean, obviously you've seen what he's done in the Mike McCarthy offense in the past, and kind of going along with like the structure part of it is really like enticing to me from the Jamel Dean aspect. Like, you can look at it however you want. It's effectively a 1-year contract for $13.25 million that they can move on from if it doesn't go well. We know how Dave feels about corners that are getting to their 30s. So, you know, if it goes south, they can move on from that at any time. But I really like it from the standpoint of like, this is a guy that kind of mirrors what Joey does super well. So you can have him be like the boundary side, Joey be the field side, and a guy that can just get his hands on you at the line of scrimmage, a really good press man corner, still a pretty good athlete as well. Like, we've always had that opposite side be more of like a zone corner, like that didn't really match what Joey's strengths were. Jamel Dean matches what his strengths are. I like what they've done, honestly, this offseason as a whole when I look at everything in a vacuum. Now, did they do enough? I think that's the question. Like, there's still – I expected they were going to add multiple receivers this offseason in free agency or via trade. That didn't happen. So, like, now you're looking at the draft like, okay, they're taking at least 2, right? I mean, if not 3 in the draft.
Did you expect the second free agent wide receiver to be more of a higher end guy? Like, I mean, were you looking at maybe taking Pittman and I don't know who I could even throw out?
No, I thought it'd be like Jalen Tolbert specifically is who I'll throw out there. So I thought that was going to be. I thought that was a pretty easy piece of business to predict. And I think it would have made sense too, just from the standpoint of like Pittman. I don't expect him to play the X like at all at this point, especially with DK here, but he can still play the Z. But I actually like his game transitioning to more of like a power slot role. But Tolbert's a guy that can play at the Z or in the slot as well. So I think like to keep those two pieces interchangeable, that move would have made a lot of sense. So I still think like whether it's, I don't know what is even still out there in free agency that I would identify, but then if you're looking at the draft, like you still got some options. You could still go both of those routes. Again, I like Pittman more as like a power slot at this point, but I still think that they still view him more as a guy that could play the Z too.
You're pulling at my heartstrings, Smitty. I've been pushing the power slot agenda for a while.
Yeah.
For a while now. Let's talk about the draft because this is where we're at now, right? We're pushing April a little bit. So you like a lot of the free agent moves so far. Mm-hmm. How do you think that this, if at all, has changed their plans in the draft? Or does it change your view of how they should attack the draft?
I feel like we got to make one very specific thing here clear, and this is a caveat. The quarterback is a separate conversation from
completely
else, right? I mean, because we could talk about this team's top needs, and it's you can't go beyond the quarterback position, but that's not a conversation worth having. It's Aaron Rodgers until it's not, to me. So taking that into consideration, talk about everything else. I feel like they've checked a lot of boxes in terms of like the depth stuff. Even today, bringing in Travis Homer, a guy that maybe replaces Kenny Gainwell, special team snaps. It also gives you a second back that you can trust in pass protection because that wasn't on the roster in Rico Dowdle or Caleb Johnson right now. And then, the Brock Hoffman stuff over the weekend becoming official. I like to see that too. At least gives you some competition with Spencer Anderson. Should that interior offensive line pick not happen, I still think that it's definitely going to at some point. But it gives you a fail-safe, if you will, in terms of competition. That was one I honestly wasn't sure was going to happen after the Ryan McCollum signing, because I actually like Hoffman's tape better at center, to be honest with you, than I do at left guard. But I think that they checked enough boxes where it can just kind of be BPA, where that is typically where they want to be. Receiver is still the direction that I think and want them to go. But there is a world, man, where especially with like some pre-draft trades that we've seen take place, like with Miami sending Jalen Waddle to Denver, they're picking at 11. That all of a sudden looks like a spot where I would definitely pencil in a receiver right now. And all these like these injuries, right, with the red flags that are popping up with Concepcion having a knee procedure. Jordan Tyson, grade 2 hamstring, but still not doing anything. Like, I don't know. That has to be in the back of some people's minds. Denzel Boston, not necessarily an injury, but didn't run his 40 at his pro day. Is that a red flag for anybody? There's just a lot of things with a lot of these guys. So I'm still penciling in receiver right now at pick 21, but I think the business they've done this offseason doesn't make it to a point where like it has to be. And especially because the draft class looks relatively deep at that position compared to a lot of other spots.
Omar Cooper, cleanest wide receiver prospect in the draft.
I hate to even like put this out there. And again, like who and what do you want to listen to?
Full send, Zach. Just put it out there.
Conversations that I've had with some people, they're not the biggest fans. They actually don't even think he was the best wide receiver at Indiana.
They like
really?
Surratt. They like Surratt.
Yeah.
He's
and I hope that that's not the case. We can talk about what we want to believe or what we don't want to believe when it comes to this quarterback class as well and their potential interest there. But yeah, some people that I've talked to don't believe that they're big fans of Omar Cooper.
Boy, you're killing me. You just killed me.
That is my guy. Like, honestly, if I could pick one guy that I like feel like is going to be in that range. You talked about all the medicals with all these other guys. Like, I think people might not like to hear this because they had some things against the player. I think he's a more reliable hands, juiced up version of Deontay Johnson.
I like that.
After the 40.
Imagine Deontay Johnson with a head on his shoulders. That's a great wide receiver, or a very good wide receiver. I'd take that all day.
I would think.
That just doesn't sound like the kind of guy we target around here. Wide receivers with a good head on their shoulders.
Well, there's that. There is that.
Yeah, that's why they don't like him.
Then the guy is Makai Lemon.
Makai Lemon, is that the one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Travis Homer's probably getting brought in here as a guy who's going to return kicks, I would imagine.
What's interesting is that hasn't been like, well, because they had Devin Duvernay in Chicago as well, and he's like one of the best in the business right now at doing that. I would imagine that they're going to have him take Gainwell's spot on the kickoff. That certainly makes sense. But again, like he gives you, to me, a fail-safe if they don't trust Rico Dowdle or what in the world's going to happen with Caleb Johnson, man? But
that's the question.
In terms of, you needed a second back on this roster that you could trust in pass pro too. Yeah. And Travis Homer gives you that. He's played like all of 85 snaps last year or something like that on offense. It wasn't a ton, but he's a guy that you can throw in there on third down and trust, whether it is a receiving option out of the backfield or in pass pro. They needed that, to go along with Jaylen Warren. You couldn't have him be the only guy out of 3 backs that could do that.
Now, Dave, you had a guest on here at 5 who had some interesting takes. What was his take about Omar Cooper?
He thought he was a 3rd round prospect. I was like, God damn. Yeah. It kind of depressed me a little bit because I think maybe I don't know, maybe he's losing his chops a little bit.
Is Mark still on the Steelers in the Steelers scouting department? That sounds like how I was saying they weren't biggest
Right,
fans of
right.
him.
I mean, maybe they're
Within that
listening.
group.
Maybe they're listening to him
Yeah.
still. Because I pumped up Cooper when I brought him up, and he's like, "Yeah, I think he's a third round guy." I'm like, "Oh, shit." But I just
don't know.
see that.
I was watching the beginning of it. It was a very good conversation from what I saw. I go back and see the rest of it. But before I jumped on, one of the 412 podcasts to do a week, I was watching some of it. Did you dive into like more guys within or was that just like a one-off thing you threw out there in terms of?
He did Big Ten and MAC schools for the Senior Bowl, but only certain ones, only within driving distance. So I talked about the Indiana guys, some Ohio State guys. Cole Payton he liked because he met him and he watched a lot of his tape. He liked Cole Payton a lot. He also said he has the same agent as Ben Roethlisberger, which I thought was interesting. And he didn't like Emmanuel McNeil-Lawrence as much as I do.
Ooh.
Said he's a second round guy.
Oh, okay. We got to talk about the defensive backs too, because like they've made additions there for sure. I talked about Jamel Dean, Jaquan Brisker, but like they're still missing an archetype. I think even right now, like certainly it's a future need because you look at these guys, it's like 1 year contract, last year was deal. But right now, like who is that slot defender when they're in nickel? I think they think it's Jalen Ramsey. And I don't think that's the case. I don't trust him in man coverage. I think they're missing that guy right now, that archetype that can play in the slot when they go into nickel defense, that can man up somebody. I don't think it's on the roster right now. I might be in disagreement with the team or maybe even you guys. I just don't see it when I look at the roster.
What do you think Jalen Ramsey's role is then if he's not the slot corner? Is he a safe?
No, I think he's going to go into the slot when they're in nickel. I don't trust it. I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they do too.
That's
I think
likely.
I think it's interesting with the whole Ramsey thing because he played bad against JSN again. Everybody did. Like it's so hard to judge, and then like he had some good games stretched in between after that until he hurt the hamstring, and then it's hard to judge was the hamstring the problem, and then right after he would have healed from that hamstring completely, he was back at safety. You never really saw him back down in the slot very often, except for, of course, Baltimore, where he's playing safety in the nickel and got cooked twice for 60-yard touchdowns. So it's weird. It's hard to judge that.
Safety room's weird on this team. It's
now,
very strange.
I will say, just from like a safety perspective, there is, and I don't want to buy into this with everybody and make it seem like I'm just carrying water here, but I think there is something to be said about like he made that position change in season last year. So like he has the entire offseason to commit to that now. If he knows that that's where he's going to be, like if he's there in base and then like when they go into nickel, he's playing in the slot, something like that. And he knows that's his defined role and he's taken an entire offseason to view it that way. Maybe we see a different player in 2026. But again, I think the physical limitations are there where I just don't trust him to man up somebody in the slot. We saw last year, he certainly can't play in the boundary. I just think a lot of the stuff that they want to do, in too high and stuff like that, they're going to have to give them depth. These are guys that you don't want to have to cover a lot of space on their own. So I think that there's a lot of questions for me. While I like every single addition that they've made in a vacuum, and I think it's a talented group, I just wonder from a deployment perspective and a construction standpoint if they got everything that they need right now within that group.
So let me ask you guys this, because this is something that I'm thinking of as we're talking about this conversation right now. What if they're just waiting to see who they get in the draft to determine if they even keep somebody like Jalen Ramsey because of the big cap hit? What if they get the right safety that they want? Or what if they get the right Nick? What if they get Keontae Scott? He could be a press man corner right out probably day one.
Ran well today. I like him.
I think Ramsey's on the team no matter what. I don't see him cutting.
I agree. What's interesting is that conversation, I guess, could be had about Patrick Queen too.
Yeah.
We could talk about linebackers.
17 mil per.
So they don't need the cap space. They don't need it. So
they don't. No, they don't. What I will say, my question becomes about: do these guys, more so in the case of Queen, who hired a new agent this offseason, $2.5 million they paid his bonus. It's $2.5 million. I don't think that's preventing them necessarily from doing anything. But I think they would like to just have him on the roster for one season, play it out, go their separate ways. But He hired a new agent. He was looking for an extension this offseason, whether it be from the Steelers or whatever team would be acquiring him in a trade. If he doesn't get that this summer, then what happens? The things get like ugly and they move on at that point, because that's a position where I don't think people are talking about it enough. CJ Allen's on my short list at 21 for potential picks, whether people like it or don't. I think he's in play.
No, he's not my favorite linebacker in this draft.
No, either. All right.
Well,
so do you like him better than Rodriguez?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're all big Rodriguez fans here.
I am too. It's incredibly close. Man, they're probably both like top 30-ish players for me. And the reason, and again, whether this should be a reason to or not, I'm sure Jacob Rodriguez's coaches would all talk him up in a similar manner. You're always going to talk your guys up. But I think what this defense needs, because Patrick Queen clearly is not that, is a 3-down guy that can wear the green dot. In the way that Georgia's defensive coordinators talked about him at the combine, like they wouldn't even like give him calls. They would just trust him to like, what are you seeing? Okay, you make the defensive call. And I think that that's exactly what this defense needs. So whether the value lines up where you can say like he's worth the investment or not, I think they need a guy like that. I'm not saying it has to be him, but I just think CJ Allen's in play. They had enough representation at the pro day for me to say, okay, we probably got to keep this in the back of our minds if he's there. But I'm a big Rodriguez fan as well. I mean, I've talked about him quite a bit.
I don't know. Is it DB's a CJ Allen guy too, isn't he? Derek Bell.
To be honest, I mean, I'm sure that he is. We talk a lot. I would say off-ball linebacker is honestly probably the position we talk about the least. Faribault is definitely CJ Allen's in his top 20.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I when I watched him, I feel like he's a little slower reading and reacting to plays than some of the other linebackers in this class, to me. I mean, maybe he's really intelligent at the calling and pre-snap and all that stuff, but to me, I feel like he reads and reacts a little slow for what I like. I don't know.
I feel like we got bigger fish to fry at 21 than linebacker.
Look, I agree with that too.
Tell me Spencer Anderson's not going to be the guard on week one. Tell me that.
Well, that's you're not gonna like what I'm gonna. They like him a lot more than the fan base.
I could see it coming.
I mean, they have, and it's been the case. To be honest, I mean, for them to not even like really have a conversation about Isaac Seumalo coming back, I think tells you everything you need to know. I mean, their actions to me are screaming. Whether or not they add somebody that ultimately supplants him, I think it's pretty clear that at the very least they like him. And I mean, he's certainly outplayed his draft position.
Absolutely.
Seventh round pick. Like, I think he's a fine player, but yeah, he is not somebody, even if you want to consider Brock Hoffman as somewhat level of competition, to me, that's
not very good either.
To me, I'll go as far as using the word malpractice at that spot. If that's
I would agree.
To me, he's Ryan McCollum. He's a solid backup. If you got to plug him in because of an injury, you'll be okay for a game, maybe two.
Yeah, McCollum. I tip my cap to what he did in 24 for the two games. I think Zach Frazier. I didn't think that he was, stood out in a bad way. So certainly held his own. Don't have a problem with him coming back. I feel better. Here's what I'll say. I feel better about the depth on the interior of the offensive line than I do the starter at left guard. Like, I think they have fine backup options, but they don't have the starter right now.
Agreed.
Has our order of needs changed in free agency now? No, I mean, are we
still including quarterback? Or are we still doing the thing where we?
I think that's.
Is there a quarterback in this draft that would solve our problems? I don't think there is.
We'll make that a side pot there, Zach.
How do you feel about Ty Simpson? You like him?
Not enough. Like with where he's going to get drafted. I don't care what the conversation ends up being surrounding him. I mean, I could go down with this for sure. I still think he's going to end up going in the top 20 picks. Like, I don't even think he's going to be on the board for the Steelers to pick, to be honest with you. I know that some conversation coming out of the combine was like, he's not even going to go in the second round, or there's a better chance he goes in round 3 than he goes in round 1, was what somebody said on the record at the combine. I don't believe that. Whether it's a team currently picking in that spot or it's somebody jumping up, I think somebody drafts him before the Steelers pick even happens. So
good.
I think the
decision we made for them. What's the other guy's pushing his name to today?
Orlovsky has him as the number one quarterback.
Orlovsky.
Mendoza.
He's doing that for clicks.
Dude,
I'm
they're
convinced of that.
all
I'm
pushing
convinced.
him. I mean, it's like Mel Kiper with fucking Shador. Even
Did you guys
worse.
see McCarthy was at the LSU Pro Day watching Nussmeier very closely?
I'm like, great, wonderful.
That's. I keep saying it's gonna every time I see a quarterback, but
I think that was mis put out there. To be honest, I think it was misinformation.
good. Thank you.
I think because McCarthy was in Green Bay for that former personnel member of the Packers that had passed away. He was at like their eulogy, and there was even like a video of him talking at that today. I think that was Mark Sadowski, and somebody said Mike McCarthy.
Okay.
Oh,
That makes me feel a lot better. That makes me feel a lot better.
And that,
'Cause I don't think him
is a Smitty scoop. Thank you.
Omar was not at LSU, Miami, or Iowa today.
Omar hasn't been anywhere. Georgia.
Yeah,
That's
he's
it.
chilling.
Dave, you're sounding kind of judgy. Take it easy.
It's a little judgy. I'm used to
Take
them
it-
going to 6, 7, 8 combines pro days at least, and we're at 1.
And we're about
That's
to be at the
okay.
owners' meetings where we know they'll be. So they're going to miss out on whichever ones are taking place during that period of time as well. Yeah, Alan and I were literally just having this conversation. So like, I don't mean to like regurgitate things that I've already said, but I think it will be interesting to see like if we're having this conversation in a year, what this cycle looked like because of the new coaching staff. Like, I don't think we can say a lot of things definitively about the process. Like, we kind of got to go through a cycle first to see how they did things.
Right. Yeah.
And then, come back next year and say, oh, okay, like the tea leaves were there for this, but we weren't thinking about that.
Right. We've been saying that. Like, we're like, hey, this is a whole new process now. It's definitely different. We don't know what they're going to do, which is nice, actually. So,
kind of pisses us off.
Well,
in
unless
the podcast
they
world.
pick Ty Simpson or, something.
Oh
like that.
God.
I do want to talk about quarterbacks though, real quick, because you
Go
mentioned
ahead.
Shador in there. You asked about Ty Simpson. Garrett Nussmeier throwing today. I'm not sure what all Carson Beck did at Miami's pro day, but he's been a name that has been linked to the Steelers as well. If I talked to 10 people right now that are like in or surrounding the Steelers, I bet you I'd get 5 and 5 in terms of is the interest in Carson Beck real in both directions? Because some people think that this is legitimate, and the other half of the people think that this is very Shadorsy in terms of there really not being interest, but them faking it.
okay.
What do they have to gain to fake by faking it
Depends on who
though?
you talk-
I mean, what's the end?
not
game
necessarily faking it, but like
But-
people thinking that there's interest that's not there. I don't
Okay.
know. Like
Okay.
again,
Yeah.
depending on who you talk to or the way that it's worded, it can always be different. But it's just like we thought Shador was like a legit possibility at 21 last year, and he goes in the 5th round. Like, how many opportunities did they have to take him when we thought they didn't only not love him, they didn't even like him last year, and it seemed like that was a possibility. Just getting a Shador vibe from Carson. Yeah.
Maybe
I mean-
McCarthy's just more paranoid than Tomlin was about people figuring out what they're going to do.
It's
Could it be that?
possible. I mean, or maybe they it's too new and they haven't figured out what they want to do. They just got thrown together. I don't know. It's just bizarre.
I mean, these are I understand like it's their first rodeo altogether, but like these are people that have all been doing this separately
True.
for a while.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just outside looking in. It's very interesting the way that we've started, even with like the pre-draft visits and stuff. Not a lot of top. I mean, hasn't been a bunch of top guys.
no.
And if you're looking at corners, we were talking about like them needing a guy in the slot. The corners that they're bringing in so far are outside guys as well. Like, I don't know. It's just been very interesting so far to me, the interest in the process.
Mhm.
It's different than what we're used to for sure.
Have you ever dug back into like how McCarthy has handled this process in the past? Is this kind of routine for him? Because I never looked at it.
I haven't looked at it
No,
either.
and it's tough, and it's tough to say in Dallas, right? Because they're such an anomaly with the way
Yeah.
they handle everything with Jerry.
Jerry Jones runs everything there.
So, but in terms of like the Packers, no, that's not an exercise that I've done. It would be interesting, I think, to go back and do it. Maybe I will now that you've mentioned it. I'm not sure in terms of even like what's the level of say for him, as opposed to everybody else. Like we know obviously Tomlin had a massive hand. We know Andy Weidel had a massive hand. With Mike McCarthy, does he step immediately into that Tomlin role or no?
I doubt it, right? But I don't. Yeah, it's a good question. The more you kind of think it through.
I would guess no. I would think that they're going to put the draft probably deeper into the. I mean, it's. I would say. Let me say it this way. Maybe it feels like more of an even split, because I think it felt like Tomlin had the final say every time, and I don't know if McCarthy is going to have a final say in things. I think it's probably going to be, if it comes down to final say on a coach that they know isn't long term. Was that
what Mark Gorskak said? Remember, he said Tomlin was heavily in the very,
we
very
knew that.
involved.
The thing that surprised me, he was like, Mike would teach us, and basically give dissertations about players, and I'm like, you're a scout for 30 years. You're taking dissertations on scouting from Mike Tomlin? That confused me. I'm like, I just think he's such a cult of personality that people just fell in line with him.
There's a lot being explained right now, a lot over the course of the last how many years. But whatever.
I would give anything to give one of those guys truth serum and sit them in a chair and make them speak the truth. I would give anything for that. A lot of shenanigans went on.
Well, let's ask this, because we didn't even talk about this a lot in the show last night. Is there any prospects that are like jumping up our lists now with some of these pro days and combine that's going on?
No.
Are you pretty much right where you were before?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't shown super amount of interest in any player that I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah. Do you mean like
even for you personally, on a personal level,
okay,
like you guys individually? Is there any guys that you've seen like climbing your boards? I mean, we talked about like how Keelan Rutledge has kind of been skyrocketing up some of the guard, going from 4th round in a lot of mocks up to 2nd round now in mocks. Like anybody like that you guys are seeing personally that you really like that's jumped out?
I hate to be a broken record, but it's Omar Cooper for me. That workout was the final piece of the puzzle. He was already good in my eyes, and then he's a good athlete on top of that. Yeah, that's.
I mean, J-Rod jumped from what, a 3rd rounder to now there's rumors of him being a 1st round pick possibly. So he's jumped. McNeil Warren was originally a 2nd round projection, but now is rumored to be a 1st round pick. Bryce Lance, I was getting him in the 5th round back in January, and now my mocks, you got to take him in like the 3rd round.
Are they going to have him and Cole Payton team up again?
Kind of awesome.
I'm down.
That would kind of be awesome.
Yeah.
He's one of like 2 QB picks they could make where I'd be like, okay, at least they're like taking somewhat of a swing. Like I don't necessarily want it to happen, but it's like,
yeah. What's the other one? Taylor Green?
No, Drew Aller.
Drew Aller. Oh, we have a Drew Aller guy on the pod. All right.
No.
Come on, you said it. You said it.
Listen, physical traits.
That's what I.
But the thing is, he can't answer the questions that people are going to have about him when you're playing football in shorts in a gym. Like everybody knows what he has at his disposal with his arm, and he looked healthy, at least from the ankle injury that he had last year. But he's never going to be able to answer in these meetings, hey, when it's the 4th quarter and you're not even a guy that necessarily has like a high volume of turnovers, why do you just go brain dead for whatever reason late in games? Like you can't explain it with him. I don't get it. So I don't necessarily I don't want it to happen by any means, but there's 2 guys to me that at least have some physical traits that could be fun to work with. And it's those 2, it's Drew Aller and Cole Payton. In terms of guys that I'm really falling in love with as the process goes on here, Emmanuel Pregnon, the guard out of Oregon, is a guy that I don't know if this is a hot take. I don't think that the gap is that massive between Ioane and
him. Really? Okay.
That's a hot take.
I think that there's more space between him and Basantis, who I think is the 3rd guard, than there is between.
Yeah. Okay. He's on the question at 53 for the Steelers, right? He's gone.
I think they'd have to trade up in the 2nd to do it. There's so many Pregnon. There's so many guys that fall into this bucket where it's after 21 and before 53.
But before we pick. Yep.
We talk about it all the time.
It sucks.
And they got 12 picks, and I think there's a lot of teams that are going to want to move back in this year's class, which like the Steelers should probably be one of them because they need to work on the 27 picks as well, with that being the year for quarterback. But what I will say is if they are so enticed to move up at any point. The cost to do so shouldn't be as much as it would in most years because a lot of teams I think are going to be looking to get out of their picks to acquire 27 capital.
I think trading back in this draft is going to be.
Go ahead.
I think trading back in this draft is going to be pretty damn impossible in the first round. I agree. I think the talent separation between what did I say last night, guys, like the first 8 after the first 8 guys, and then dropping down into like the second round guys, it's not a huge gap.
There's nobody to trade up for, no quarterback, no.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I don't think the cost is as much, in most years to do it. Like, think about, was it 2022 when Detroit went all the way from 32 to 12 with Minnesota or whatever it was. They did Jameson Williams. They did not pay like a premium price that you would in most years to go up and do that. I think we could see relatively similar value this year because of the draft class. And again, I think a lot of teams viewing it as let's get out of these picks and try to acquire 27 capital.
That's the goal, man.
Another name that I would keep just on our minds here if they go defensive line on day 2 potentially, that's gained a lot of buzz, and I think he continues to climb, so maybe he's going to be out of their range as well as Lee Hunter, Texas Tech. Obviously, they hired CJ Ayu from that coaching staff, not necessarily like his specific position group, but I think somebody that would have at least been around him enough, and kind of the same conversation with J-Rod, like so much familiarity obviously there within that defense for sure. Know the Steelers like him. I think he's getting some round 2 buzz. Wouldn't be surprised if he works himself into a top 50 pick. So I think that's another name to keep an eye on.
I'll take him and J-Rod. Thank you.
Take them both.
That defense was so stupid, by the way. Their quarterback play absolutely sunk them in the college football playoff. But that defense was so fun to watch.
Well, I talked about Skylar Gill Howard was the other D-line guy that did good for them. He's a little undersized, though.
Yeah.
But
that's another thing that I think we need to have a conversation about is like, what kind of defensive lineman archetype are they targeting? Because do they go for like the smaller? Do they go for the smaller 3 tech as a pass rusher? Or are they looking for the space eater in the? I mean, 12 draft picks. If they keep that amount, obviously they can do both of them. But like Nick pointed this out to me, it's a pretty good shout because you look at could they be kind of in an inverse of what they were last year? Like Harmon goes down, and we just see the run defense sink. But could we see something similar happen? If a Keanu Benton or a Cam misses time, does the pass rush just totally disappear? So should they be looking for, a smaller guy that can play the 3 that's got some pass rush juice within this class? Because I think you could talk me into them going both directions. And I think this draft class has a lot of guys that are like one specific like archetype, but they don't have like a guy that stands out to me, jumps out to me as like a 3-down guy within their range. Like I don't think you're picking one in the first round. I'm not even sure about second.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I have no issues in drafting 2 D linemen, one for nose and then one to skip outside for sure.
You're better off trying to get a nose and then moving Benton outside as the depth.
That's right.
At end, right?
Yeah.
I love the orange shout, by the way. The comment that's
that is
up right now.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan.
He fits the prototype of what they liked before, right? Like 6'4" and long arms and that type.
Well, yeah, that's the thing that we got to keep in mind. Anytime that you look into these, like keep in mind the thresholds that they've had for like arm length and height, weight. Like I would say, if he met them, he was on the very cusp of it. But like Javon Hargrave, little undersized, he might have been right within that. But pretty much everybody, like he's almost an outlier.
Is that who you're comparing Orange to?
No. I'm just thinking of a guy that like maybe just barely within that.
That's
threshold.
high praise there. Holy shit! All right.
Deep defensive lineman. Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah, this is a popular conversation right now going around within the NFL space.
Them taking Ione.
It kind of feels like it's almost too obvious that it's not going to happen at this point.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's not the case, but
me either.
Ravens usually fall into shit.
For those that Ravens take a Penn State kid, Vaughn bringing up Vanga Ioane potentially going to Baltimore. I think it makes a ton of sense. Yeah, that's the thing. There's like people are talking about can the Steelers pass on him if he gets to 21. No. I mean, I never say never, but I don't think we're going to be able to have the conversation. Like, I don't think they're going to have the opportunity to pass on him because I think
he's going to be gone. Yeah. That's.
Stranger things have happened. I think you got to be open to the idea that it happens, but like we got to talk about in terms of predictability here, and I predictively don't think it's going to happen. So
McShay had him going to us today in his new mock, but for what it's worth. It's still a guard. Guards don't go high, but he's so much better. And this class is so blah. You know, if you're looking for an impact type guy or in the first round.
The only mocks I've seen where he falls to us, though, are mocks where you're projecting 2 of these tackles moving inside to guard. Taking Spencer Fanu at guard, that was the one where Kuiper had him falling down to us. I don't know if that was the one today. I didn't see the one from today, but I know the one previous to that. It was because they were moving 2 of these guys into guard. And I mean, okay.
Well, I guess that's another conversation for like a tackle, right? Because who was it last week that gave us Blake Miller, which is like the first time that I've seen that.
Jeremiah.
That's me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I love Daniel Jeremiah, but that was, I think, a bit off the wall.
It was.
If they were to fall into somebody like Caleb Lomu or somebody that could play left guard immediately, but then gives you an option at tackle as well, you know, should Dylan Cook not work out or Broderick not come back from the injury and progress and whatever happens there, like it gives you a fail safe almost, but a guy that can play guard right away. So I don't know that I would say like, because Blake Miller is obviously a tackle and he's a right tackle with that. So are you also kicking Fatanu over in the process? Like so many moving parts if that's the draft pick. So I just don't see it. But somebody that could play left guard right now and then maybe in a year be a tackle option, that makes some sense to me.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, how comfortable are you with Dylan Cook and Broderick Jones on the left? Because I'm not at all. At all.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Like
the whole left side is just a nightmare right now. If it's Dylan Cook and Spencer Anderson on the left side of your line, and
that's another thing that people have to keep in mind. Here's another thing that people got to keep in mind with Dylan Cook last year. You got to give him a ton of credit for stepping in, certainly punched above his weight and played well. It's not going to be Isaac Sam. Like, I think people are really not giving Seumalo enough credit for what he was doing next to him. And you don't have that vet inside anymore.
He had to overcompensate to help Cook out.
Yeah.
Well, but Cook gave Seumalo a lot of credit for telling him the reads in
that's what I'm saying.
game.
Yeah.
You know, hey, here.
There's a lot of there's a lot to the job that I think, you know, doesn't get talked about. And I'm not saying, you know, it was a massive mistake or anything like that to let Seumalo go, but I think that there's a lot of questions that certainly need answered, and I don't know how anybody should be feeling super comfortable about just the idea of, hey, it's Dylan Cook and it's Spencer Anderson on the left side.
It's not a massive mistake in a vacuum, but it is if you don't have a replacement. It's like last year's wide receiver.
It's trading Deontay Johnson. It's trading George Pickens. No issue with that move on itself. But what's the follow up to that move?
Exactly.
So let's think of this option because Dave's been high on this guy, and Corb, you haven't gotten to talk a lot, so we're gonna throw this to you first.
Great.
Would you trade up in this draft for a guy like Monroe Freeling if he's in the 12 range, pick 12?
Not a big fan of drafting another tackle in the first round, guys.
Also, he's a guy that's just like athletic traits, right? Like I don't know how you feel. I don't love the tape.
Is this a guy they're saying can be bumped to guard though? Is this the guy you brought up?
No, he's a guy who's going to be a left tackle.
Guys, how many fucking tackles we going to draft in the first round?
Well, like how many times are you going to miss? That's the question.
Well, that's a great point. But like another one, that'd be what, the third one in 4 years? Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Good Lord, no, I can't do it. Sorry,
Dave, this is your guy. You like him?
No, I don't think I would. But if for Ione, I might.
Oh well, we're changing names now. Ione, that's a different story. Yes.
If Freeling's there at 21, you got to consider it.
No, you can consider. I'm not considering. I'm good. He's a bum.
Don't do the bum thing on me, for Christ's sake.
There's a lot of smoke to him to Cleveland at 6.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen that too. Yeah.
They
lost the entire offensive line.
No one wants him, Zach. Quit talking that shit.
I agree with Somber. I think he's Broderick Jones. Completely raw.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's completely raw.
Well, isn't our offensive coaching staff better now? The offensive line coach is better. The head coach is an offensive guy. Maybe they can actually not move him to right tackle, then back to left tackle, and back to right tackle again. Maybe things work out better.
Yeah, because this went so great with Broderick. Why don't we do it with another guy?
No, I'm saying don't do it this time.
Oh,
maybe
well.
it works out better.
No, I'm not taking another fucking tackle. Fuck that.
Jeez. Is Broderick going to be ready by camp? Smitty, you hearing anything about that?
I think it's in a better place right now than where we would have thought it was going to be. Like based off the early conversations surrounding it, like I had a lot of fear that wouldn't be the case. Like when people were asking me about Broderick, I would be like, man, I just hope he can be a part of a competition with Dylan Cook from a health perspective. But they seem pretty confident that he'll be ready to rock. So I don't know about like with the early stuff in the spring and summer, but training camp, I think they're very hopeful.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, everything's gonna be fine, Dave.
Feeling lucky this year, huh, David?
Not really.
Feeling lucky.
I mean, I still feel like getting Vegas got to be your top priority. You need the plug and play guard.
Guys, if I drive down there Thursday night after working and then driving clear down there, pay $250 fucking for parking probably, walk my happy fat ass over there, and they draft a fucking tackle in the first round, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I'm going to lose my mind.
And you're going to go on your phone and click the live button when you do it.
Yeah, definitely do that.
We want that broadcast.
EMC3, Prestige Worldwide. Yes. And I'll be bitching a storm.
I'm probably going to have 3 guards in my top 35 players.
Yeah.
Maybe 4. And again, like I know that I'm probably on an island here, but with the gap that I have or don't have between I do, but I'm talking about specifically with Ioane to Pregnon. I think they're both very good players. I have Ioane before him, but I don't think he's like Quentin Nelson type guard. Okay. You know, like where you feel like
he's pretty close
overall type prospect.
Compare him to him today. I could have sworn I heard that comparison.
Well, that's what I've seen. I've seen that thrown out there. That's why I specifically said his name.
I just mentioned Santos because I figured that's the third one. You said there were 3. Is that the third you're talking about?
I think those are the 3 guys that no matter what would win a competition for the Steelers left guard for sure. I mean, even guys like I think Dunker would be their starting left guard immediately. Keelan Rutledge, I think, would be their starting left guard immediately. Also, a guy that I don't think gets talked about enough. What about the other Iowa guard, Bo Stevens?
Bo Stevens, that's my guy. I had him in my top 5 guards.
Dave, I think you do too, don't you?
What's that?
You like Bo Stevens too?
No, I didn't have Bo Stevens in mind. He didn't test very well, right?
I don't give a shit about the RAS. That dude's a football player. The hell with the RAS.
He's an Iowa interior offensive lineman.
Yeah,
there's no way he's bad.
That's plug and play, boys. That's all I need to hear. Iowa lineman, plug and play.
Well, if you can like him and Spencer Anderson, I'm going to take him.
That's like getting a Buckeye at wide receiver. You know, it's fucking plug and play, boys. Smitty's on the Buckeye train too, so I might have a second guy on that boat on this one.
You would think that I hated them every time that Will Howard comes up in conversation, though. So you know,
you got to be realistic about Will Howard. I mean, these people are out of their goddamn minds.
Well,
it's Will Howard.
That goes both ways. Let's be realistic from both ways. Okay. All right.
As far as
here's what I'll say, and great point by I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there's this guy Alan Saunders. Hosts the number 8 Steelers podcast, by the way, in the world, as it was put out today. He mentioned this to me, and I really wasn't viewing it this way, but it's another point that kind of goes against the idea of the Steelers ever viewing Will Howard as like a guy that eventually would take the reins. Why did they go about business to collect the draft picks that they have in this year's draft class with the idea of taking a quarterback with Will Howard already in tow? Now, obviously, the draft class didn't pan out the way that they would have hoped to be able to take the franchise quarterback, but he was already in place, and they still went about business the way that they did.
Yeah, point taken. They were already, with Will Howard on the roster, they were already thinking he's not the guy.
About 2020. Yeah, they were already thinking about the next year's draft class and getting a quarterback. Didn't pan out that way, obviously, but and listen, Will is, if you ever have a conversation with Will Howard, like you can't dislike the guy. Great dude, guy's guy. But it's almost setting him up to fail. I think the way that the conversations have gone. And again, to David's point, I think it's in both directions. It's unwanted hate that comes with it, and it's also putting him on this pedestal where if he's not the franchise quarterback, if he does see game action, he's not great. then it's going to be looked at as a failure. When in reality, man, if this guy turns into like a long-term backup as a 6th rounder, that's a win.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with that. Vaughn was asking earlier if we've talked about safeties. I know we gave a ranking of our top 5 safeties in the draft yesterday. Or do you want to have like a straight focus on guys who could potentially be a deep safety and who we could target in this draft class? Do more draft focus?
Can we consider Stukes as a safety?
Yes.
Yes.
I think
he's going to be.
I think you have to at
That's
this point.
maybe my favorite player in the class. Not obviously not the best player in the class, but maybe my favorite player in the class. And perfect for what Patrick Graham wants from his slot defender. If they could get him on day 2, sign me up. I love that kid. 6'2", 200 pounds. I love the way that he trusts his eyes. You can see in the rotations that they trusted him to do within that defense. Like, I think he's legit, and he's plug and play in the slot. I would love that pick. Even his teammate, like I think a lot of people talk about his teammate even more for the Steelers, Genesis Smith, who I think is a good player. I'm not really I think a lot of these guys like AJ Halsey, box safety,
Box safety, yep.
necessarily what they're looking for right now.
Kamari Ramsey is another one of them.
Yeah, Zakee Wheatley out of Penn State, like ran slow. Also, like if you watch him on tape, I wasn't necessarily expecting him to be super fast. I don't think that's necessarily his game. Like whether or not you think that's the archetype that they need, I don't think takes away from the player that he necessarily is. I know they really like Bud Clark.
I like Bud Clark too.
I do too.
I like
Jalen Kilgore out of South Carolina. I think
He's
they need to
shut
keep
up.
an eye on
Bud
as well.
Clark, Kilgore's another one. Yeah. I like Hall.
DJ Payne out of Kansas State. I think potentially like an early-ish day 3 pick there. But I'd like to see them invest earlier than that. So like the guys that we're talking, hopefully they've already checked that box before we get to the VJ Paynes of the world.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But Bud Clark seems to be a guy to keep an eye on if they don't go early. Like he definitely. I mean, they had him in. If they talked to him twice now.
They talked about the combine too. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to think they really, really like him, and he had a good Senior Bowl. I know Alan talked about that with you guys, that he had a really good Senior Bowl.
And I think that they just think there's more within there. Like, TCU's defense doesn't get like super creative. I think they think that he can play free safety, which is what they're going to need. Obviously, maybe not necessarily this year, but certainly going forward into 2027 and beyond, they will. So while you might think of him as more of like a downhill player, I think free safety, they think at least, is within there.
I like that we got the chat right now telling people to subscribe for us. We appreciate you putting in the work, Steele.
Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Yeah.
All of it.
All of it.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Bud Clark tested pretty well too, right? Didn't he run a 4.4 flat? So that's a good option to me.
Yeah.
Do you think
I just don't think TCU's say again?
Do you think Jaquan Brisker is I didn't mean to cut you off there. Jaquan Brisker is the free safety this year? Is that the guy they're going to go with?
I think so.
Interesting.
I think that goes back to like whether or not you're on board with the team's vision. When they're in nickel, I think he's playing free safety and Jalen Ramsey's in the slot.
It's so weird because his PFF grading coverage is horrible, but from when I saw him film, he looked fine. And he argued it on Twitter with somebody too. He said, "Look at me, cover 2, and look how good I did."
Yeah, he doesn't agree with the touchdowns that were accredited to him as opposed to how many he thinks he gave up. Because they said he gave up like 6, I think, last year. He said I gave up 1. Go check.
That's a wide variance.
I don't know. Again, I don't necessarily think that he's the greatest guy in coverage. We talked about that. I think you can ask him to do some overhang stuff. I'm not trusting him to play deep safety or center field or anything like that. Certainly, he's at his best around the line of scrimmage. So I think you're already kind of putting him in a box where he shouldn't be, if that's the case, by not having him in the box.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, if he was good in coverage and the way he plays physical, he would have been a 1-year, $5 million safety.
That's the thing.
More valuable guy than that.
I was shocked.
They were stunned. They were stunned that they got him. They went into free agency thinking we're going to put an offer out to Brisker, and there's no way we're going to land him. Everybody, the conversation was he's going to get 3 years, 30-ish million. They got him for 1 year, 5.5. So
he wanted to come home, Dave. He came home. Okay.
It's a regular Yin's reunion around.
But that is a massive
damn right.
difference, though. I mean, you can say maybe he took a little bit of a discount. I don't know what else is on his
that's-
table. Certainly, he didn't take a 1 year, $5.5 million deal. If there was
Massive
a 3 for 30
discount
out there for him,
Massive. Massive.
Do you guys have a preference on this question? Guy who's rangy or a guy who can cover? I think he ended up clarifying like man coverage. So I think he's probably talking about dropping into the box in more man coverage situations. I think Stooks, that's basically a Stooks type of guy versus a rangy safety.
But like future needs,
Steeneman might be the rangy safety. I don't presume.
I think he can do. I wish that they were in a spot where I could say, yeah, I wish they were in a spot with the rest of the roster where I could say he's the guy at 21, to be honest. But I don't think that they're necessarily there. There's a certain board where you could get me there, I think, but it's like, are all 6 receivers off of it? Is Ioane off of it? I would pick him. I would pick him over CJ Allen. I don't know if the team would, but I would pick him over CJ Allen.
I didn't catch
the Eneman. The Eneman, the safety.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have some crazy top 10 stuff with him. Top 15-ish. So they're not going to have that option.
Please say hi to Jackson.
By the way, this is my nephew. This is my 9-year-old nephew right now.
He's been trying to say hi to you forever in the chats.
Hello, Jax.
That's hilarious. Getting Jackson some love on the show.
So I don't know what's up with his username, by the way. He's not a running back or anything like that. I don't know what the other than Jackson.
What's going on
with that name? Thieneman I think is plug and play in the slot right now, and then potentially he is the free safety going forward. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I'm not gonna. This is super high praise. I'm not comparing him, but like, could he play in the role that Cooper DeJean does on Philly right now?
I mean,
I've said that's where I think his best spot is. I don't see him as a deep safety like everybody else does.
Okay.
I think he can do it. I'm super impressed with that kid. We'll see.
He looked better in the drills at the combine than I thought he would. I thought he was a little tighter in the hips, and I didn't think he would be able to do some of the drill work that he did as fluid as he did.
Yeah.
But
from the film I watched on me, he looked like he could do it just fine.
Yeah.
Is he safety too?
Yes.
Not for me.
Oh, okay. Safety too?
He's ahead of
he's
EMW.
My 3.
EM.
He's my 3rd.
Yeah, EMW.
I picked McNeil Warren ahead of him just because he's bigger.
Yeah.
I like him McNeil Warren. I think
I do too.
I keep saying it. He's not as fast. I think he's got some Ed Reed in his game. He's rangy. He makes plays. He can hit you a little
not
bit. Ed wasn't known as a big hitter, but I'm just saying, like, he's got.
I don't want to lump too high a praise on him, but I think he's a top 3 safety of all time.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm not trying to.
He might be a Hall of Famer. I don't know. He should be okay to add in this draft.
I don't want to get ahead of the skis here, but start fitting for a gold jacket.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Let's just give him Paul Muller's locker.
Reminder to sub and like, my man.
Let's not get crazy now.
I don't know. What else do we have to work on? Anything else? I mean, we it's all luxury picks from here.
Yeah. I mean,
which is a good
guard.
Well, we didn't really talk. I mean, I know that I mentioned CJ Allen. You asked about him specifically with Jacob Rodriguez, but like off-ball linebacker as a whole, right? Like, is that in need right now, or is that a future need? Definitely a future need, but is that even a need right now? Like, how does Patrick Queen respond if he doesn't get an extension this offseason? Malik Harrison, I don't know why they're bringing him back, but it looks like they're bringing him back. Gave Cole Holcomb a 2-year extension. I don't know that Carson Bruner, great special teamer. Don't know that they have plans to ever work him into a role on defense, but I don't think that necessarily has to happen. And Peyton Wilson didn't take the year 2 leap that I would have hoped. So
there you go. That's what I was going to ask.
Does it happen within
you on Peyton Wilson? That decides if you take a linebacker up higher in the draft, I think.
I can't say that I'm as high as I was going into last year.
Right.
I just can't be.
My high last year was high before the season started. I thought he was going to be.
Yeah. And the biggest part about this is I think because of the uncertainty surrounding Queen, not only from a contractual standpoint, but like I don't know, like I'm not saying he's been bad. He certainly to me has not returned the value. I don't think he can handle the role of being the green dot and communicator for this defense, which is why I think they need to find somebody that can. I don't think it's a coincidence that when Roquan was wearing it and he was just able to like be a really good blitzing linebacker and play sideline to sideline, he had his best year. That's not to like just attach his production 1-to-1 with playing next to Roquan. Just saying when he didn't have the communication aspect as part of his game, I think he was at his best. So I think that they're missing somebody from that room for the right now and in the future too. It's just I don't know why Malik Harrison is part of this right now. I don't know why you bring Cole Holcomb back for 2 years. I think, from a special teams aspect, it was nice to see him play so many phases of that, and it gives you a fail safe. But I think there's so much uncertainty with what could happen this summer. Imagine Queen doesn't get an extension, right? And he tries to force his way out. If you decide Malik Harrison's not worth keeping around at that cap number, that Peyton Wilson doesn't take a step, like, I don't know. I think they got to add somebody, and it's a good off-ball linebacker class. I only mentioned a couple names so far, but I really like the group as a whole.
Who do you guys like outside of the top, three? I mean, Sonny, if you're throwing Sonny Styles in there.
I like Golday. I know people don't. He seems to, the shine's kind of worn off him. I still like him.
Yeah, I would say Golday's the other one to me. Like Sonny Styles is in a class of his own, but if you're saying like the next three to me, I would have him along with Allen and Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Obviously bit of a homer here. I don't think he can do everything. Kyle Lewis, man.
Yeah.
Like if you're just looking for a space guy that can cover, I think Kyle Lewis is awesome.
Former WVU Josiah Trotter is a guy that nobody's brought up. I thought I would just throw out there.
You went the whole podcast to bring a WVU guy.
He's literally ranked like top 6 by freaking PFF for linebackers.
Trotters worry me.
He
worries you?
No, not hit. I hated his brother as a prospect. Has nothing to do with him.
His brother.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
he's a downhill guy too. He's
but I'll be nice.
I think Trotter's more of like a E-Rob. I feel like they're very similar. The run attack kind of guy.
You know who Harold Perkins, who they're bringing in for a visit, like
the LSU kid.
LSU.
He ran 4.3 something today.
He ran
fast as hell. Great athlete.
Yeah.
But can he survive playing?
He's small as hell.
Linebacker. Yeah.
I've seen some things where they said he was like up at 230 coming into the
okay.
And then but then during the season he dropped all the way down to like 218.
Yeah.
Like he was almost a safety weight.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got a practice.
Vaughn's saying 210.
That might be what he is.
I didn't I say earlier? I said that kid should move to safety.
Yeah, I think that's
especially when I saw that 40 time. I love Deontay Lawson out of Alabama.
Yeah, I actually like him too.
I think he's one of the smartest linebackers in this draft.
He's a green dot guy. Yeah.
He is a plug and play green dot guy that you can get in the third round. I really like that kid a lot.
Who was it we were just talking about? You were bringing up size. Was it Perkins?
Yeah,
Harold Perkins.
It says here 6'1", 223.
Where's that from?
On it's off of PFF's board information.
I don't know if they've got. Did he weigh in today at the pro day? Must have, right?
No.
Lander Barton has some fans. He was once like a pretty high, like he was like a 4-star, I think, when he transferred to Utah, but he was at Notre Dame. I don't know. I mean, maybe he's a starting Sam. Yeah, I'm just thinking of a guy maybe on day 3. I know like a bunch of people were in our comments talking about Red Murdoch, the linebacker out of Buffalo. I think he's got a little bit of a fan base.
I've heard him.
Yeah.
What about the Bryce Boucher from Oregon? He's kind of in that late.
He seems like he's moving up certain people's boards and not.
Yeah. Is he? I'll have to dive more into him because to me the thing that would be my first thought. Okay, and maybe this isn't fair to him, but like to me, if there's somebody else within the defense that I was just watching Dylan Thiedemann not that long ago, I would think that another player of like if he was a really good player would jump off the page to me while watching Thiedemann, and he didn't. So again, maybe that's not fair to throw into an evaluation here, but I'm just saying
he's not like skyrocketing up a board, but I'm talking about maybe moved up a round. Like he was probably in that 5 range. He might be in the 4 range now.
Yeah,
on people's boards. Other people's they seem to be kind of keeping him right where he was.
Go get that beast Eric Gentry from USC, 6'7". Oh yeah.
6'7" linebacker. I don't know.
We'll get him.
Who's going to be
him
the West Virginia pick this year?
I'm sorry. What?
Who do you want them to? Who should we be pounding the table for out of West Virginia?
This year?
Do they have anybody
I don't
draft
think they have
eligible?
anybody.
Yeah, I don't
Alright,
think
good.
there's going to be a West
All right,
Virginia
good. Good. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody. But you wait. Rich Rod's working on it. Don't you worry.
guy.
Don't you worry.
What about Vaughn brought up tight end? Are they drafting tight end in this? I mean, they're only too deep right now.
They need somebody in that room.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah. I think Oscar Delp out of Georgia
Oh,
has
tested
caught some
great.
eyes. And I
Yeah.
would say another one to keep an eye on, and maybe he goes too early before they would take one. Eli Raridon, tight end out of Notre Dame,
Yeah.
who absolutely lit up Pitt. And that always kind of like, whether it's local guys or guys that do things against local teams, they kind of always get like a little extra asterisk for the Steelers when that happens.
I
Who's the
think,
Baylor kid that has like 35
Michael
inch arms?
Trigg.
Trigg?
Yep.
Yeah.
And runs like a goddamn deer.
Oh, he's probably like a third rounder though. I don't know that they would
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
You think they go deeper than that? Like fourth, fifth round?
Yeah, I just think they're going to be looking for like a specific archetype. Like they need a backup. They need another pass catching tight end. I think.
The Wyoming
Oscar-
kid got some buzz, right? I can't
Yeah,
think of his name.
he had a great combine, I
It's a
thought.
3-thing name.
Listen,
Michael
listen,
Gillenbrand.
Yes, that's it.
Borg, whatever
That's
is. Yeah, I
listen
can't
to
pronounce
this
it.
about Raridon. Staying out as a technical blocker with soft hands, he is often cited by coaches for possessing the prototypical NFL frame and movement skills of a modern dual threat tight end. Interesting.
And if you're just looking for Connor Hayward, who they're going to have to potentially replace that role. I mean, McCarthy has deployed fullbacks within his offense. Riley Nowakowski, who's listed as a tight end, could be like that H-back move
Yep.
piece within the offense.
Oh, I know who they're taking the kid from Navy, Heidenreich. He's a Pittsburgh kid.
Heidenreich. Yeah.
That's a lock.
Can he
Put that
do
one in
the
pen.
Spartan? That's all that matters.
Put
Can
that
he
one
do
in
the-
pen.
No.
There's three
He's
guys that like
190 pounds. He is not on the Spartan, guys.
there's three guys that could be on like every roster, like every team could make a case for, and it's Heidenreich, it's Nowakowski, and it's Caden Wetjen, just
Yeah.
as a
That's another
returner.
one. Yeah.
Just
Two
as
of
a
those-
returner. He's not going to play offense at all.
Yeah.
Somber
Two
was
of the-
on that
Two of
guy
those
early.
three, Somber's been all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oscar
But
Delp,
Heidenreich's got that. Oh, good.
Delp would be, I think, a really interesting piece next to Pat.
Yes, he would.
I like
Two
him a
totally
lot.
different tight ends. Then you have a completely third different tight end with Darnell. Like that
Mhm.
tight end room would be pretty versatile. What you could
Like those other
Mhm.
names that I mentioned, I think will go higher than I would invest a pick there. Delp might be in the sweet spot for
Mhm.
them.
Where do you think Delp goes in third?
Well, if he goes in third, that's probably two. I was thinking as a fourth at the
Hmm.
earliest, maybe.
Third for Delp.
I mean, consensus board has him at 132 right now.
Okay.
Do they?
So
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm scooping him up in the fourth if he's still there.
Yeah.
Just for the
100%.
talent alone. And I said this when
Yeah.
we talked about this in the group chat too. Like that Georgia, else unless you're Brock Bowers, it's a little hard to evaluate tight end because their offense doesn't really flow through the tight ends. And the other problem is Gunnar Stockton really sucks. Like, he's so bad.
100%. 100%.
He's just bad.
Are they ever going to invest in a real quarterback at Georgia? Like a real. I guess Carson Beck.
Well, I mean, they had
was
Carson
a
Beck,
recruit.
you know, the fucking
He was-
guy who walked on water for the whole beginning half of the fucking year,
Yeah.
Dave. So he threw 6 interceptions in one game.
Yeah. That didn't
Why you
work.
gotta bring up old shit, Trent?
Somebody's got to start the fight on those podcasts.
If Georgia recruited quarterbacks, they'd be national champion every other year. They have everything
Yeah.
else all the time. They just never have a quarterback.
You know what's interesting though? College football is not even about recruiting quarterbacks anymore. You just got to
Yeah,
go get them in the
transfer
portal. I mean,
Yep.
that's where all of them are coming from.
Yeah.
All these
Texas-
kids
Texas
are paying
did
them
it.
out of the
I got Sorsby.
that's my guy. I was just about to ask who's your guy's guy going into the next college football season, like that you'd plant your flag on.
I got to give it some thought.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
it's-
because the reason I asked this is because I will freezing colds take myself. Cade Klubnik was my guy coming into last college football season.
Yeah.
I have him in my top 5 for this.
mine was
this,
Drew Aller. I thought Drew Aller.
I mean,
was a
I'm
killer.
probably in your top 5 quarterbacks for this year. Like that's not saying much.
Is it
Yeah,
too
Sorsby's
wishful
my
thinking
guy.
to get Manning? Is it too much of wishful thinking?
That
Hey.
we're gonna get Manning?
Yeah,
Strange things can happen.
I can
Never know.
totally see him not go to the Jets.
I mean,
Jets are picking
imagine being on here on March 23rd, 2025, saying, "Yeah, we'll be talking about free agency leading up to the draft after the Seahawks beat the Patriots in the Super
Yeah.
Bowl." I mean,
Yeah.
Seriously.
so be open to everything.
I think
Do they ever say enough is enough for Aaron and move and go do something else before he makes a decision? Or are they just going to sit on their hands and wait till he tells them he's ready to play?
Again, if we go back to March 23rd of 2025,
I know.
conversation. I mean, listen, I can't envision a world where it's the exact same timeline as last year. And here's why, the biggest reason that I say that. It has, like, I hate saying anything definitively about Aaron, so it's probably not right to say that so definitively that the timeline won't be the same. But you think about everything that was put out there once he did show up to the team last year. And I don't know if like apologize is the right word, but there was something put out there about like he addressed the team and said, "Okay, now that I'm here, don't worry, I'm locked in." Like it was almost like an apologetic tone, right? The way that it was put out. I think to then go about it the exact same way, I have a hard time thinking it's going to be received the same way by the players. I think that we're already kind of in that space where it wouldn't be received the same way by the players. I think that while being respectful to him, because it is obviously a tough decision to make, man, like these guys just want to know who their quarterback is. Like they're trying to go through the offseason knowing who that guy is and have him in place. So, and like the one thing that I do take issue with from like people towards Aaron is making it seem like it's, you know, him holding them. You can't hold a willing participant hostage.
I say that all the time,
It's not Aaron. Yeah,
I say it all the time.
I mean, the people that say he's holding them hostage drive me nuts.
It's crazy.
I mean,
they're taking this. They're taking it and liking it. I just
So ultimately, I think Aaron's going to be back. But you know, again, that's thinking, and I couldn't give you a time. What's weird is there was rumors out there that he was here last week. So I thought it was potentially going to happen. So
what is this shit with Mansour Delane? We got a
people kept
Mansour Delane.
No, people. Well, I don't know. Maybe you guys said anything.
Well,
People
Vaughn
kept
said
saying he
that,
was slow.
And then Magic said, I mentioned him yesterday, and they said no go. When I ranked them
no
number
go because he's
one.
not going to be there. He's CB1. He's going to be long gone.
Is that what they're asking then?
Yeah, he's probably going like top 10, maybe 11.
It's a waste of time to talk about him. He's not going to be there.
Well, the way Vaughn says he's talking about his run time as if I don't know the way
people
I
thought he was slow. Like, he was going to run in the 4.
People thought he was going to run in the 4.5s.
Yeah, and he ran 4.3.
Well, I like the guy. I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay.
That's like dropping in the comments. Why wouldn't we take Mendoza?
Yeah.
Exactly. Back to Aaron for a second. I know you guys kill me about this take, but
he says on a previous show, one of us said he was slow. Who said that?
Probably the one that's not here any longer.
He's a bum. Yes.
Oh, that's the last one. We're not going to do it anymore, dude. That's it.
I'm sorry.
You've taken your.
You guys drive me so nuts that the last time I was on here, I had hair. No, I don't.
This is why I don't even try.
Back to Aaron. What?
Yeah, I'm an Aaron guy. I wanted him last year. I wanted him, but at a certain point, I got tired of it. What's the drop off between him and Kirk Cousins? Honestly, what's the drop off?
I mean,
why are we playing footsies with Aaron again?
Yeah,
thanks for last
season.
season.
Kirk was like totally done. At the end of the year, I feel like maybe some of the velocity started to come back because like that was the conversation. Is unlike Aaron, I didn't think that the arm returned post Achilles.
He definitely struggled in the beginning,
but
he definitely struggled.
I will say too, like McCarthy's offense, West Coast offense, does kind of mask that to a degree anyway. Like you don't need to have the strongest arm to play within it. I mean, I would still prefer Aaron. Don't get me wrong, all things considered, 1-to-1. But like in terms of what's the drop off, I don't know. You're getting top maybe 25 QB play from Aaron as opposed to top 30 QB play from Cousins. I don't know.
Do you want to know what they both have in common? Do you want to know what they both have in common?
What?
10 and 7.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about. So why are we playing this? Why are we playing footsies with Aaron again? Maybe it's me. If I'm the general manager, I'm fed up. I'm past here with waiting on him.
If you're McCarthy, though, don't you want the guy who already knows the offense that you're about to run, and you're trying to install it with a brand new team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think that might be the sticking point if you're the head coach.
Kirk Cousins is a smart guy.
I don't know, and none of us will. Is there conversations going on that we don't know about?
I would hope so.
Between the sides, they're
human. They have to be pissed off about this. They have to be.
Yeah.
The draft's in what? 3 weeks?
Once we stop recording,
it'll hit. Aaron Rodgers signs.
He's signing after this. Yeah, it's fun. I don't know. I just think he loves this. I think he loves people talking about him. He loves speculating.
He hates all the drama. Didn't you see it when he went on the Pat McAfee show for an hour?
Yeah. Creating drama on the Pat McAfee show. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, come on, man. That makes the franchise look bad in my eyes. They're like kowtowing to this guy. I don't know. I'm over it. I'm over the Aaron Rodgers experience.
They lost their choices at this point, though. I mean, it's basically, do you draft a guy and just let it ride out with, Will Howard, a drafted guy, and some other guy you bring in? I mean,
you did.
That's
the one thing Bob got right was he said way past the draft, Aaron would sign. And I called him crazy at least 5 times. And every time we got close to the draft and he wasn't there, and Bob was like, he's going to take his sweet time. And he's doing it again.
Yeah.
He's doing it again. I
don't know.
I'm frustrated with it.
I can tell.
It's all right.
All right. Well, do we have anything else?
Okay. Thanks for letting me vent on Aaron Rodgers.
Other than they're going to take Aller with the 99th pick in the draft. No, that's all I got.
You've been on
That's your prediction
for a while.
Let's see if you get it. You'll be the only guy standing and cheering at the draft. You'll be the one who'll be able to pick you out of the crowd.
I can feel it, boys. I can feel it. They're not letting him make it to the 4th round.
I honestly don't hate it.
Well, I know you don't.
Roll the dice, see what happens. Who cares?
My Ohio State guys are ready to hang themselves.
I'm
just for that alone, too. That would be
There's no way you can convince me that I'm going to be happy about a goddamn Drew Aller signing.
I want Howard versus Aller for all the marbles.
I want to see Trent's face when they draft
the world burn. Like, people are just going to lose their minds, and it's going to be great for podcasting. I'm just saying.
Free content.
I don't know who wins that QB battle, but I know who doesn't win. Steelers.
Mason
Rudolph. Steelers, exactly. Yep. Well,
we win just a year later in the 27th draft. We have a top 5 pick.
You beat me to it.
It's all part of the plan.
If you gave Drew Eller the Steelers roster and let him go back to college, maybe he beats one of the 3 Big Ten teams that he can't beat.
Doubtful.
Probably not, though. He's still find a way to blow it.
I didn't see him do it, so yeah.
Because that Ohio State roster was pretty similar to the Penn State roster, except for the 5 first-round picks that are coming out this year.
Yeah. Minor details.
That's all I got.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you in the chat. You guys are fantastic as always. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Smitty, thank you for coming on once again.
Yeah, good
you want to tell the people where they can find you at all 12 of your podcasts?
Around the 412. You can find me over there 3 times a week. And then, of course, Steelers Afternoon Drive 5 times a week at least. Been going live a little bit more on Around the 412 as well. Some Saturdays here and there, some short form content that we're putting out as well. So, yeah, that's where you can find me. No personal account these days on Twitter. I do have an Instagram, Zachary Smith PGH. You can find me over there. I think that's it. YouTube, all your audio platforms, all that good stuff. You guys know the drill. But I appreciate you guys having me on. Always blast.
All right, man.
No problem. You're welcome back anytime, Smitty. All right. Thanks again, guys.
Just like that, I left everything. I dropped out of high school. See ya. I said goodbye to my girlfriend. See ya. And I left my family.